morning, everyone. Welcome to our English class. Today, we learn about the correlation of verbal communication in developing our listening skills. But before that, let's begin our class with a prayer. Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here. Ever this day be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen. Alright, good morning again, grade 7 students. How are you today? Okay, that's good to know. Kindly arrange your chairs and prepare yourselves for our class. Okay, thank you. Let me check who is absent today. Very good. I am happy to know that nobody is absent today. Alright, class, kindly pass your assignments now in our Google Classroom. Okay, thank you. Does anyone remember our lesson last meeting? Alright, very good. We tackled communication. Well, today's topic is also a continuation of our previous lesson. You are expected to accomplish the following objectives. 1. Differentiate verbal cues from nonverbal cues. 2. Perform an interview using verbal and nonverbal cues. And 3. Recognize the importance of verbal and nonverbal cues when interacting with others. Now, for our first activity, let us play 4 picks 1 word. What do you think is the answer of this picture? Very good. It is listening. Now, what do you notice in the activity? Anyone? Yes, all your answers are correct. Number 2, which role do you prefer, giving or receiving information? Yes, Jane. Exactly. Very good, Jane. Receiving and giving information. You should have the skills to be a speaker as well as an active listener. Well, in this regard, our topic is all about activities for effective oral communication, which is an important aspect of listening skills. What can you say about the title of our topic? Yes, Grace? Thank you for sharing, Grace. You have a point. The activities for effective communications are: first, volume. Refers to the loudness. The higher the loudness, the louder the voice. This depends on the size and the shape of the setting. Regulating the overall loudness of your voice, remember that it can emphasize the ideas either by louder or lowering your voice. It is also important to consider the audience feedback. Right? Next is the pitch. Is the placement of the voice on the musical scale. This is determined by the speed, high or low, with which sound waves vibrate. The faster the vibration, the higher the pitch. You can raise or lower your pitch within this range for emphasis. Listeners will still find it pleasant to hear. Again, volume is the loudness and pitch is the speed. Okay, let's proceed. Rate is the speed at which a person speaks. The average rate is between 120 and 150 words per minute. But successful speakers vary considerably. 2 factors in connection to pitch are the following: stress and anxiety. Like pitch, the rate goes up when a person is under stress. This happens not because it is timed inaccurately, but because their rate is under stress and anxiety felt. Variety. Just as monotonous speech can seem boring, a monotonous or unchanging rate can also displease listeners. A speaker who utters every word and sentence at the same rate, no matter how significant or suspenseful the ideas are, gives no clues about what is really important. Pauses are the brief silence within speech. Although it may seem strange to include silence among the dimensions of voice, silence as well as speech can be highly communicative. The message in a pause is one of the completeness and finality. Pauses enhance speech in two ways. Number one, emphasize what the speaker says by providing a kind of nonverbal underlining. And second, mark transitions in a speech. However, you have to avoid the following communication problem: pausing too often, pausing in the wrong places, not pausing long enough, using vocalized pauses. Next is the articulation, which refers to the clarity of individual sounds. Enunciation refers to the distinctness with which words sounded. And lastly, pronunciation refers to the accepted way to sound any given word. This includes such matters as which syllable to accent, including vowels. So that concludes all our lesson today. Now, to generalize everything we discussed, share your thoughts in this question. Explain what is verbal communication. Why is it important in listening? Thank you everyone for sharing. I am glad to know that you gain new knowledge. I hope you will all be a good listeners, because being a good speaker should have skills in listening. Now, let us apply what you learned in this phrase. She loved me at my worst. You have me at my best. But binaliwala mo lang ang lahat. And you chose to break my heart. Your turn. Wow! Let us give ourselves a round of applause for the successful acting. You all did a great job emphasizing the message. Before we proceed, do you have any questions or clarification? Okay? Since no one is asking, kindly prepare your answer sheets. We will be having our assessment. Task 1 is comparing and constructing. You have to list at least 5 similarities and 5 differences between verbal and nonverbal communication. You will be graded according to the rubric you saw on the screen. For task 2, you will be writing 2 essays. You will answer the questions briefly. Again, please be minded on the given rubric. You will submit your output until this afternoon in our Google Classroom, okay? Late submission is a deduction of points. And for your homework, take a screenshot of the instructions on the screen. I'll give you the freedom to choose your group mates. Thank you so much, and see you at our next session. Goodbye, grade 7 students.